Hi, everybody. Welcome to Speak Candidly, our new podcast series where Adam and I dive into everything and anything we want to. We can talk as candidly as we feel.
Looking forward to it.
So, to give you a little background on us and what we're doing and why we're doing it, if you haven't noticed, the world is in a bit of a chaotic state. And we've been for months now developing our own podcast, potentially media company.
Yeah.
Adam had started with Speak Freely. If you can see our little water bottle in the background placed strategically. So Speak Freely is his political social media channel right now that he's been developing.
I rant on all things politics.
Pretty much. And we will get into some politics on this one as well.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We'll touch on it.
Yeah.
But I think with this one, we want to go a little bit more, a little lighter on it. You know, we'll touch on some of the things that are happening in the world, but I think we want also a little bit more positive of a vibe.
I think ultimately our goal is connection. I think we want to bring a little positive to each one at the end. That's a big goal of ours.
A little normalcy.
Little bit of normalcy.
In this crazy world, you know, getting
navigating,
just a little bit
yes.
of normalcy in it, I think is important for people. So.
And navigating all these emotions, these crazy, stressful, brand new to all of us. I don't care how old you are. Like, none of us have lived through anything like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is brand new. So here we are, speaking candidly about life and all things relevant.
So where do we start?
So we have been talking for a couple weeks now about holidays. The holidays are coming up. They're right around the corner. We have literally a month for, Thanksgiving. Halloween is coming up.
Yes.
That's not a big one for families. That's more little kids running around in costumes. If you're a little older, maybe a drunk party or two. But Thanksgiving and Christmas were always huge for us.
Yeah.
We have always hosted from the time that we have been together, pretty much had our own place, and we started hosting almost immediately. It just made it more convenient because we have a gazillion kids.
A lot of kids. We have too many kids.
And it's just easier instead of packing up all those kids and running around to different houses.
Everybody
come to us.
Everybody come here.
And it was beautiful. And I love to cook.
And
I love cooking.
You love hosting a party.
I do.
So,
I love planning and I love hosting.
And you were very good at it. So
yes. I like being my own little Martha Stewart in the world, I guess. Right.
Yeah.
So we've done things in the past to lighten the load of a holiday, because we all know that families can be a little challenging, a little trying at times. Some of our go-tos, the one year was brilliant. We did a secret bingo with just the kids and Ab and I, and no one else in attendance had any idea that we were playing. And we had bingo cards that we created with different topics, mostly political, that we knew would be brought up because we have political spectrum through our family, like most families in America. And then we were waiting to see who would get bingo. I don't think anybody did, though.
I don't think anybody
fun.
did. It was close. I think we had a lot of fun doing it, but nobody actually got the bingo on it.
No, but it was a lot of fun.
But I saw constantly throughout the day people like checking their phones and checking that one off. All right, well, we got that one, So
it was absolutely brilliant.
Made a lot of fun.
It did.
I think my favorite was that last year where we went to down to Orlando?
Yes.
And our one daughter was going to school down in Florida, in Miami, and could not get off from work for the holiday.
Right.
So what we decided to do was pack everybody up and take everybody down to Orlando and go to NBC Universal Studios, right?
Right.
Just a couple days, just over the weekend. But she was able to come and meet us. She couldn't come home for the whole weekend, but she was able to come out to Orlando and meet us.
Right.
And honestly, I absolutely loved it. Not only was it a little vacation where we all got to kind of spend time together and, go on the Universal Studios rides and, all that fun stuff. but it got us away from the politics. It got us away from, any of the family issues. And it was just kind of a getaway, didn't have to worry about food, didn't have to worry about, all of the things that you would generally have to worry about hosting.
Right.
It was just kind of a fun little getaway, that just happened to coincide with a holiday.
So you and I have been talking so much lately about how we keep deciding when is that point when it becomes about your nuclear family, right?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We both love our families,
Yeah.
but especially more and more with the political climate of the country, our family get-togethers and holidays have been more and more trying, let's put it. So we escaped last year.
Yeah. I think it's getting to the point where the amount of alcohol that we need to drink in order to tolerate our everybody, it just gets more and more. So
Right.
this was kind of our little escape.
Right. But we can't escape this year. We don't have the time this year,
We don't have
and
the
we
time.
don't have a kid in Florida to
No longer
give
have
us
a
that
kid in Florida.
excuse anymore.
Right.
So we're debating, what do we do?
So
What do we
what's
do?
yeah.
What do we do this year? Do we just say, okay, let's try it again? Now, mind you, most of the time, I would say, in the good part of a decade that we've been together, we've never had bad holidays. It's not like we have
No.
drag out fights.
No.
They're very enjoyable. Let
Yeah.
me put that disclaimer out there. However, given the political turmoil of the country building up to where we are now, there have been definite disagreements within the family as to,
There's been moments.
yes, we'll call them moments. We'll call them moments.
Yeah.
And it's caused tension. Not fighting so much, just bickering, making it not so enjoyable. I think it stresses our kids out.
I think more than the actual disagreements and arguments, it's the anticipation of a potential disagreement or an argument happening on a holiday.
Oh, that's
that
brilliant.
weighs on everybody.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. Like I hardcore, it really is that anticipation of
Yeah.
who's going to screw this up for us?
Yeah.
How bad is it going to get this year?
Yeah.
Are we going to have a moment where it literally makes it a bad holiday?
Right.
And we don't want that for our kids. We don't want bad memories for them. And I know that nobody else does either.
Right.
It's not like anyone's coming in with the intention of, oh, I'm going to screw up this holiday. It just happens. It really just happens. We just get to points where those disagreements that we have and those different perspectives on life sometimes get to almost ahead, and they have been getting there.
When you mix volatile chemicals together, you know what I mean? There's a chance you're going to get a reaction.
So do we this year make it our nuclear family?
I mean, I'd be all for that. I think, our parents have done a wonderful job throughout the years raising us and kind of being the grandparents, right, to all the kids. They've done a great job there. But I really think that you and I being, kind of that matriarch and patriarch of our family, I don't know, that's what's best for everybody.
I think what it comes down to is, we can't escape the politics. And I don't care how many times we have tried to maybe say, hey, let's not talk about politics this holiday. It always comes out. It always comes out in some way, shape, or form. It's really difficult, and it becomes more and more difficult with everything that just keeps happening. And it's gotten to a point where, yeah, I think that for the sanctity of not just what those holidays represents, but for our own mental well-beings,
Yeah.
and especially our kids' mental well-beings, I think that maybe that it is time. It is time.
I'm all for that. I think that would be a great idea. And, this isn't a problem that's just for our family.
Right.
We had friends over, a couple weeks ago, and it was the same thing. One of our friends who was now living with their parents, and there had to be a rule within the household of no politics
Right.
because they sat on opposite sides, and it just became so there's so much tension there
There is
that
too
they
much.
had to say, okay, that's it. We're cutting off the politics talk.
So do you think that everyone is going through what we're going through?
I think a lot of people are going through what we're going through. On the political spectrum has always been interesting because you always have your rabid political people on both ends of it, right? You've always had that family member who's shown up and wanted to talk politics, right, or religion or some of the other taboo topics like
Right.
at a holiday, and everyone's just kind of like, all right, we don't do that. But it feels like now everybody's kind of dragged into that,
Right.
and it really is you're dragged in on one side or the other. And there's really like very few family members who don't anymore,
Right.
who don't have a political opinion, who aren't paying attention to a lot of things, who, aren't going to get pissed off if you start talking about, one side or the other. I feel like it's the majority of people now. So even if you're not like super tuned into politics, you still kind of lay on one side and you don't want to hear political talk about, the other side or whatever it is.
I find that it's a polarizing thing and within itself. Whereas you either have people who want to talk about it because we, like us, very, very similar to us, understand the gravity of what's going on.
Yeah.
And we understand that these conversations not only need to happen,
Right.
but they need to continue to happen, and we need to keep eyes on this. But then you have a whole group of people in this country who are like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I just can't handle it. And I don't blame them either.
No. And the holidays should be the time to get away from that stuff and enjoy your time with your family,
Right.
and eat some really good food and just kind of enjoy, like we all look forward to the holidays, as kids and growing up, like this was our favorite time of the year.
Right?
And now, it just feels like some of that has been taken away because there's just, it's so difficult to have that, that consistent flow of conversation and meeting with everybody and just not having that anxiety of, when is someone going to open up and start talking about something that is just going to set everybody off?
I agree with that 100%. You know what else I would really like to start trying to incorporate with the kids? I would love it, especially for Thanksgiving, if we could carve out some time and go help out in, a kitchen
Yeah.
for a couple hours during the day, sign up, go feed the people who aren't able to feed themselves, and make that part of our tradition as well. Because I think especially now, and as we continue to see more and more people losing programs that have been helping so many Americans since the Great Depression are being cut, more and more people are needing assistance. And we're seeing this. We're seeing, lines are growing longer in a lot of food kitchens. Anywhere you can get any kind of handouts, you're seeing more and more people show up. And I think that we have to stop thinking that this is part of a throwaway society. These are our people.
Yeah.
That the problem doesn't go away if you lock them up and they're not on the streets.
Right.
Like you can't just sweep the streets clean and think that we don't have homeless anymore. And now we're creating even more of a problem.
Yeah.
So these people need to be taken care of.
Just because you don't see the problem doesn't mean that the problem still doesn't exist.
Right. And it's not becoming a bigger problem.
And I know you remember this, but when, those years where I was coaching softball, we did a lot of charitable stuff. We
Right.
did some, soup kitchens.
Yes.
Where we, fed homeless vets.
Yes.
We did the Miracle League,
Yes.
right, which was baseball for, disabled children. And we always did it because, I wanted the athletes to see, just how privileged they are and just kind of where they are in life, and really kind of just recognize that, no matter where you are, no matter what you're feeling, there's always people that are worse off than you. And instead of just kind of ignoring those people and focusing on your own problems, we need to help those who aren't as fortunate as we are.
And stop judging.
And
Stop judging.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
this whole new era of cancel culture and, just the ultimate judgment that is going around. You know what I mean? I hear over and over, especially when it comes to healthcare, I'm not paying for another person.
Right.
I'm not paying for a lazy person. People literally have it in their mind
Yeah.
that more than half this country doesn't work. They sit on their asses and they collect all our government, program assistance without doing a thing. And that's so far from the truth.
Right.
But it is a narrative that has been created and people have jumped on that bandwagon. And I would really like to kind of bring us back to a bit of normalcy and remind people that the difference between you and someone in a bad situation is literally a couple of decisions.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not even your own decisions. And everybody deserves a break. Everybody deserves a little help. It doesn't matter how they got there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, doing these things kind of brings that understanding and awareness. I'll never forget one of our players had dropped her phone. We were out feeding the homeless and she dropped and broke her cell phone. And you could see the initial reaction, which was just absolute like terror and upset, right? And then I literally saw her pick her head up and look around at everybody she was surrounded by and went, you know what? This isn't really that big of a thing to worry about.
And right there, it's not just about helping others.
Yeah.
It also gives you something so invaluable.
Yes.
There is no amount of money in this world that can ever give you that humble feeling.
Yeah.
And realizing how very fleeting this life is.
Yeah.
And how very privileged we all are to have this very, very short time.
And how, as a society, we're stronger when we work together.
Oh, 100%.
When we help those around us in need.
Not just in our own society, as a world. Like, I'm watching all of our programs that we've pulled from other countries that helped so many, especially Africa.
Yeah.
And the amount of devastation that is just now happening. Like, how is this a better solution to what we were doing? Like, that's my biggest takeaway is how is watching people starve to death better than where we were?
Well, it puts a few more dollars in the shareholders' pockets. So
yeah,
obviously we can allow those people to, curl up and die in other countries as long as, some people get a little extra money in their pocket.
I guess what I don't understand about that more than anything is, like, you can't take it with you. When does it become, when do we get to the point with money where it becomes obsolete?
When we decide that it's obsolete and we decide that we are going to start doing the things that we need to do, and it's no longer up to the people with the most money. When we make that decision as a culture and a society, things will change.
Yeah.
But right now, I mean, you see it. The billionaires are the ones that are making all the decisions. They're the ones that own the media companies, right? All of the media that we get. They own the social media networks. They own, the television. They own everything. They're the ones that are making all of the decisions. And so basically, if you have that type of money, right, it's no longer just a scorecard, right? Who's got more and it's just a competition. It is now leveraging that in order to basically be able to decide and run society how you think it should be. And the moment we stop doing that and we take that power away from the money itself,
right,
and we say, hey, you know what? Instead of propping up the most wealthy people in our society, we're going to find the best people, right? The people that we feel are just the best human beings and have the best interest of everybody. When we start propping those people up, that's when things change.
Do you think that, like, I'm seeing on a very superficial level, like high thinking, we as a society, America, have established that better than any other country, there is a direct path in this country for you to go from literally nothing to wherever you want to land on the scale if you work hard enough, which has always been an American dream, right?
Right.
What we're noticing now is the people who have used that dream to obtain their dreams are now trying to lock those pathways up for themselves and only themselves or whoever they want to let through and kill the American dream for the rest of us.
Yeah, pull up the ladder behind them.
Right.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that going on. I think we saw a lot of that with, and no offense to any boomers out there, but we saw a lot of that with the boomers. Everything that they went through when they were younger and everything that they fought for, suddenly, they turned around and, now they're wanting to wipe out a lot of the progress that they helped create, decades ago.
Do you think that has a lot to do with the way that our system is set up, where we have established ourselves as a society of hard workers, but we kind of make that a priority in life? And so much so that we have, we work harder than any other country. We work more hours, but are we better for it?
No, because it's no longer about, being the hardest, or working harder. It's now about exploiting labor, right? And trying to get, 60, 80 hours out of you. Or, one full-time job is no longer enough to, pay rent and put food on the table for your family. So you now need 2 or 3 jobs if you're not making enough, right? It's all about the big grind, and I remember in my 20s, it was a source of pride for me when I would work 80, 90, 100. I even had weeks where I worked 110 hours. And I would, as exhausted as I was at the end of that, I would feel a sense of pride because I had just worked harder than, anybody else. And now I look back at that and I go, how fucking stupid was I? What did I really accomplish by doing that?
It's all about work-life balance. And I've always been adamant about that.
Yeah.
Like that is just within me. It is part of the core of me that we are doing it wrong. Don't get me wrong, like every other American out there, I love money. I absolutely love money. How could you not love money?
Right.
Does it cause you to have a better life? No. Does it take away all your problems? No. Does it make life easier? Yes, it fucking does.
When so many of your problems are, based on money, okay? The fact that you have to decide, should I get this medication this month because of how much it costs? Should I pay, my car payment, or, should we get something to eat? Like, you're behind on bills. When the majority of your problems are, monetary based, then yes, money will absolutely help you. And
Right.
it helps you breathe and it helps you focus on things that are more important. Once you start getting to a certain point, no, money doesn't buy you happiness.
Right.
But money can help you get out of
Burdens of debt.
this burdens of this, capitalistic fucking hellscape that we live in.
Yes. Yes.
But what is that balance? What does that look like?
So not not everyone in America is going to be able to have the path of finding their dream job, landing their dream job. There are more people in this country that are stuck in that very low income job that barely gives you any kind of raise, that barely allows you any kind of life. We have to stop demonizing people who take on jobs like this and claiming that they need to do better for themselves. You can't want people to serve you because, let's be honest, a majority of the jobs that people hold are usually within customer service, especially the lower paying ones.
Right.
Can't want good customer service and pay someone shit to give it to you.
Right.
Like, you can't have great customer service at a discount. You can't have anything great at a discount. So why would you compromise great customer service for shitty labor when you don't want to pay?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it doesn't make much sense. But here is that mentality. We have to stop being so fucking greedy.
Yeah.
And we have to start realizing that that isn't going to get us anywhere.
Right.
Not as a country, not as a society, not as a species. What's going to get us to a better place is better work-life balances, better ways for people to go out into the world and do what they want to do versus what they have to do.
Yeah. I mean, basically, by the time you're either 18 or 22, you're basically kicked out into the real world and told to work until you're at least, 65.
Is it feasible? Is it feasible nowadays to be able to have a career and live the life that you want to live?
Of course it's feasible. Other countries are actually doing it.
So
right?
Why do we demonize it then?
To exploit labor. That's the entire goal. That's why they continue to do that, and why we obsess over this grind culture is because we do that in order to create labor that is willing to, continue to do that. And if I can pay somebody the least amount, that I can in order to get them to do the most amount of work that they will possibly humanly do. Right? That benefits the person who's not actually working.
Yeah.
Who is just, collecting everything that funnels up.
Right.
So that's where that comes from.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so frustrating. I mean, we have a cost of living increase every single year.
Yeah.
And yet we don't naturally increase wages to reflect that cost of living. And yet we're out here going, well, how come you're not making it?
Right.
How come you're not working harder? Why are you mooching off the system? Why am I paying for you? Okay. Oh, by the way, can you smile when you give me that coffee that I just ordered?
Right.
Your customer service is a little crappy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. And what has it been? Has it been 15 years since they raised the minimum wage?
Something like that, yeah.
Right? I want to say 2009. Don't quote me on that.
7, right?
2007?
It might have been 7.
Okay. It's been a while,
Yeah.
right? That minimum wage has stayed the same.
Yeah.
If your salary, you generally see a cost of living increase. Otherwise, not always.
Yeah.
A lot of other people don't. And especially if you're making you're a server and you're making, what is it, $285?
In Pennsylvania. So
Pennsylvania.
you do understand that, especially with servers, that is state by state. California, I think that they make $15 an hour. And then in Pennsylvania, we have them stuck at $283 an hour because they make tips. And that's how businesses get around that.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay them the wage. Now, what people don't know is that if on an hourly basis, you aren't making minimum wage, your employer is required to compensate you.
Okay.
But
I did not know that.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know laws, which is another problem that we run into continuously. We have a system that requires you to know everything about the laws,
Right.
but does not teach you any of the laws,
Right.
which is just
Well, they don't want you to know.
crazy.
They don't want you to know.
Oh, I know. Trust me.
They don't want you to know your rights. They don't want you to know, how to navigate the laws. They want you to just be obedient and just do what they tell you to do.
Right.
Which, again, most other first world countries don't have the problems that we have with this. They understand. And frankly, I think a lot of them look at us and that's their reasoning for not
Yes.
going down that path because they don't want to become us.
Right.
I think it's hilarious that, everybody looks and they're like, oh, socialism has never worked. Look at this country and that country. When everybody else is looking at us going, maybe capitalism isn't working because that's a shit show over there.
So it's really funny that you brought that up because I do see that. I find that a lot. A lot of people, especially when I talk about healthcare with people online, they one of the biggest things is our system is so much better because they come here. No, they're coming here for our doctors. They're not coming here. They're not actually using our healthcare system.
Right.
They're using our doctors who have better education, who have better experience, and this is where they get better pay. because of how well our country has been doing. We're about to see a change in all of that. Our education is going down, our pays are going down. Like everything that has brought them here
Yeah.
is now making them leave.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So they'll no longer be coming and we'll still have our shitty healthcare.
The way I measure it is the point of your healthcare system should be to make your population healthier and happier,
Right?
right? You know, the physical medicine to make you healthier, and then the mental side of it, right?
Right.
Mental treatment to make you happier.
Right.
And yet we rank so low on both of those. So do we have a great system of hospitals and doctors and support staff? Yeah, we've got a lot of that.
Yeah.
But is our actual healthcare system so fucking ultimately broken?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Because these other countries, you know, you can argue, oh, you have to wait a little bit longer for, you know, to get your care, or, you know, some other, whatever, you know, the arguments are against it. But ultimately, the goal should be to have your population be healthier and happier.
Right.
And we are failing at that.
We are.
Whereas a lot of these other nations are surging. You know,
Right.
they're thriving under that type of system.
Right.
And we're not.
Right.
So our system, I think, needs to change.
Another thing I keep bringing up to people and I keep referring is, if our system was so great, why are so many other countries going to a healthcare system that is more universal
Right.
versus what we offer? If ours was so awesome, why wouldn't they copy it?
Right, right.
Like it's so simple, because nothing in this world, if it works, is usually an original thought. Most of the time it's stolen from somewhere, especially if it works really well.
Yeah.
So if universal healthcare doesn't work the way that we need it to, there's nothing that says that we can't change it to make it work the way we need it to.
Look around at every other industrialized nation in the world, because they all have universal health care. We're the only one that doesn't.
Right.
Look around at what they're doing. Take the best of those things and apply it to our system.
Right.
But we've become the Apple of countries, right? Like, we're no longer innovating unless we have to, right?
Right.
It is no longer about trying to, you know, innovate and move ahead and be better, you know, than your competition, and making your consumer base happy, right? It is now just about money
Right.
and stockpiling as much of it as possible. So all the decisions that are made are no longer with us in mind. It is all about your shareholders and making them more money.
Right.
And I think other countries, they recognize this, and you know, they have not only the universal health care, but they have paid maternity and paternity leave. You know, oftentimes for a significant amount of time.
Some 6 months to a year sometimes.
Yeah, and they have all of these programs that, you know, we could look at. Like, they're trying things. Some countries are trying UBI, right? Some countries are trying, you know, systems with drugs. What do we legalize? You know, do we provide needles in a safe space for people, right? Like, they're out there experimenting with things and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. And then they're adopting those things that work. We simply look at those and say, nope, we don't want any of that. We know what's best. And we just keep trucking along with what we continue to do.
And there is our biggest problem. It's our arrogance.
Yes,
And
it is.
everyone has complained about our arrogance since I've been alive.
Yeah, me too.
You know? And we've gotten to that point where we think we're so better and we're so much more advanced that we stop doing all the things that made us so much better and so much more advanced. And now we're going to pay the price.
I remember when we were younger and buying into that mentality. Like, oh, we're the best country on earth, right?
Right.
We have this, we have that. Like, there's no... And now I look and I say, we're the richest. But outside of that, like, are we really the best?
Right.
What do we do? What do we do that is the best?
Right.
Right? Like, there's very few things where we are the best at. Sure, we've got the best military because we pour
Billions.
Now it's almost $1 trillion a
I
year.
know. I know.
Okay, which is more than the next 12 nations combined.
Yes.
We have that. We have like the tech companies, but like as far as what we offer, like no, I don't think there's any way that you can look at us and say we're still the best country on the face of the earth.
Right. We're losing that title very quickly.
Oh, I think we lost it a while ago.
We might have, and we're just deluding ourselves.
We're just right. We're that arrogant, cocky,
right.
Country that just continues to, just think we're the best.
So how do we get to a point where we start to unite? Unite, because where we are right now is we're so divided that a lot of historians are exclaiming that we haven't been this divided since the Civil War as a nation, which is scary when you think about it, because it didn't work out so well for us the last time, as in we got into a war. We fought. We had brothers fighting brothers, spilling each other's blood on our soil because of differences that we couldn't figure out without shooting guns at each other. Is it going to get there?
I mean, we're headed in that direction, right?
We are.
I don't think there's any question that, this nation is extremely divided.
Right.
Frankly, I think we need to get away from the two-party system.
Possibly.
I think both of these parties suck.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not looking out for, the people.
Right.
Depending on which side you're on, you think your side sucks less than the other side.
Yes.
But I think most Americans recognize that both sides do suck.
They just don't represent the American people that put them in the office. And that's frustrating, because their jobs are because of us. Their jobs are for us. And they keep forgetting that they're not in charge because they hold power. They were given power to make lives better for the rest of us. It's a job, and they're not doing their jobs.
No. Because as soon as they get in, they get tied into the bullshit of their political party.
Yep.
And that becomes the focus.
Which is another problem. This party over people has got to stop. You can be hardcore with your party. You can bleed red or blue all you want all day long, but at the end of the day, you should be country first. You should be your fellow Americans first, not your party.
Yeah.
Your party honestly isn't doing shit for you anyway.
Yeah.
Your gas isn't really that much cheaper, let's be honest, and it's just starting to come down.
Yeah.
Your groceries aren't cheaper.
No.
And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican.
Right.
And these are the things that affect everyone on a daily basis. This is what is driving people's frustrations. It's the everyday costs, the nickel and diming that is just, it's killing people.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes literally.
Yes.
You have people who can't afford their insulin and end up dying.
Right.
Which, I mean, is insane to think about.
Absolutely.
But this is what we prioritize.
Yes.
And until we change that, and until we tell them this system isn't working, we need change.
Right.
It's going to continue to go on the status quo.
Yeah.
And I think if you look at a lot of the European countries, even Canada, there's no two-party system. Mm-hmm. They have multiple parties so that, yes, one will rise up, right? And everyone's like, oh, that's, I kind of like where they're going. They've got some great ideas, right? And they will rise up, and then you start seeing the flaws, right? Mm-hmm. So somebody else will rise up, right? Kind of countering, and then you'll shift over here. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't bounce back and forth. You have those other ideas. So it's not just, two parties that are going to the extreme ends. You have a whole different set of ideas.
Right. I think term limits. I think that age caps. I'm really sorry, but when you're 70 and 80 years old, go enjoy the rest of your life. Stop thinking that you know what's best for everyone else, because you don't. You don't.
No.
You can barely hold your own fucking pants up. Go retire.
Yeah. And the whole wisdom aspect is like, it's great. You've got experience and some wisdom, but like,
write a book.
Let the younger generation be the one to dictate what their future is going to look like.
Yes.
Because you're not going to be around for it.
Exactly. Exactly. It's their time.
Yes.
It's their time. Let them take over. Let's guide them, you know.
Right.
Let's make sure that they don't make the same mistakes that we did. But let's hand over the baton. You know, let's hand over the torch. Let's stop gatekeeping everything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So crazy.
We're supposed to be the land of opportunity.
Yes. So let's create those opportunities again.
Absolutely.
That's what we need to do, you know?
So is there a way, circling back around, is there a way to find a good balance in life?
It's still there. I think it's a little bit more of a struggle now than it ever was. I think you have to work 10 times harder, probably more than you ever did, and you definitely have to think outside of the box. But the opportunities right now are still there. It's going to be like that in 5 years. I can't answer that for you because where we're headed, it's going to be more and more difficult for everyone.
How skewed is it based on your financial standing?
Oh, very skewed. Let's be honest. Because if I have to work 3 jobs just to provide for my kids, I don't have the resources that I need to maybe further my education, to look for another job. I don't even really maybe even have the time to go interview for jobs because I'm working so many other jobs, right? So yeah, that 100% plays into everything, which is why when we created our social systems during the Great Depression to pull us out of it, and the biggest thing that we did was tax the rich more.
Yeah.
And that catalyst us into where we are now. And yes, it's not that great now, but let's be honest, it's not like it was during the Great Depression.
Right.
And nobody wants that.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No.
But we're going to head there if we don't stop. These social programs allowed people to be able to have some sort of assistance, to give them reprieve, to be able to build better lives for themselves. And that's exactly what they did. So why would we think that that isn't what people are going to do? Why did we start changing this from being a good thing for us as a society and start demonizing it?
Money.
Exactly. Greed.
Agreed.
100%.
You know, it's not even just money, it's more money,
Yeah.
you know?
Right? Like, Elon Musk right now is like touting and bragging that he's going to be the first trillionaire. Who gives a shit, dude? Like, you're an asshole.
Yeah.
You're a piece of shit. One, you can't take it with you when you die.
Yeah.
So what? So, like, what did you seriously, honestly do with your life when you're laying on your deathbed, Mr. Musk?
Right.
What are you going to reflect upon? Are you going to reflect on all of the businesses that you purchased and fucked up?
I'll tell you what I'm going to remember about Elon Musk when he's gone. The fact that he once said publicly that if you give me a solution to stop world hunger, a cost, and the solution of it, I will do that. And they did.
Yep.
They put together and said it was like $30 billion.
Right.
And they said, we can prevent, right? We can stop world hunger.
Right.
With this, here's the plan. And he just completely ghosted them.
Yeah.
So, again, he has the opportunity to do great things.
Right.
But there's your difference between, and I always use this analogy, you know, Dolly Parton, right? Just a great human being.
Right.
And the reason why she's not like, you know, worth billions and billions of dollars is because she gives so much of it away.
Right.
You know, she is not worried about making more money.
Right.
She is worried about how she can help others.
Yes.
And yet, you know, we have the richest people in this country who just continue to hoard it.
To hoard it and to want to do evil things to people who are less fortunate.
Yeah. Well,
And-
to gain more of it.
Right. Right. To keep them in positions where they have to work harder
Yeah.
than ever for the least amount to make their lives better. And people don't see that.
Like, I don't think Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or any of them are looking around saying, I intentionally want to make life more difficult for all of these people.
Right.
However, they are saying, I am going to make life worse for all of these people to make me more money.
Right.
Okay. Even though I have more money than I will ever need in my entire lifetime, I still, am going to exploit these people and, do what I can to make me even more money.
Which is why I think that as unintentional as it might have been in the beginning, at some point you do realize when you are Jeff Bezos and you're about to cut over 1 million jobs and replace all of those working people with robots that you don't have to pay,
Right.
you know what the hell you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
You know that.
Oh, he knows it. Yeah.
You know that you're cutting out people's livelihoods in an economy where we just hit more unemployed than available jobs. They're not going to find something because there's no jobs to be found, because we have more unemployed people than we do have jobs available. So we're just creating a system where we're failing. That's all we're doing. So as rich as they are now, they're not going to stay rich because the people who are buying from them aren't going to be able to buy from them. They're not going to have that luxury of being able to afford Amazon Prime Day.
Yeah.
Because you fired them. You cut off the hand that feeds you.
At some point, right, you get so greedy.
Yeah.
And
it consumes you.
It consumes you, and it ultimately will consume your product and your company.
I mean, greed is one of the 7 deadly sins, right? There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be religious to understand how awful greed is and what it does to people internally. You can be one of the best human beings on the planet, and if you become a greedy person, if you don't humble yourself, if you don't ground yourself, if you don't remind yourself every single day what the true purpose of your own life is. And maybe it is to hurt other people. I mean, let's be honest, there are crazy people out there like that. But the majority of people I don't think are like that. And I think that when greed sets in, it changes who they are. And this is the end result.
But that's the problem that we have, is the good people, right? You can be intelligent and driven and, do great things and amass wealth. But the truly good people who do that give it away, right? They find ways to not even just give it away, but they find ways to help benefit everybody else with their money. Whereas and I hate to say it, the fucking psychopaths are the ones that don't give a shit about other people. And it's just about the accumulation of the wealth.
Right.
And then they're the ones that get put in charge of everything else. Right. So it's not the good people who are focused on helping everybody.
Right.
It is literally the people who say, fuck everybody else. I want to get this number as high as I possibly can. If you're looking at it and saying, I am worth $500 billion, and my next goal is not to solve world hunger, to, just do things that benefit humanity, but your goal is, I want to become the first trillionaire?
Yeah.
You're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Period.
Right. And you can't take it with you.
And you can't take it with you. And this is what everyone is going to remember from you.
Right. That you were a garbage human being.
That you were a garbage human being.
Yeah.
And it's so funny to me because you look at all these tech moguls, right? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, I'm in tech, right? So I understand the mindset. I understand, the sacrifice. I understand the things that they've done. And, on one regard, it's it is impressive. It is incredible. They all started out with money backing them, okay? Mm-hmm. None of these people came from nothing.
Right.
Okay? But, it is impressive. But you look at these guys, and they're all the kids that, got picked on when they were kids and just wanted to fit in. And now they have a chance to do great things. But instead of truly being loved by people, they do these things that, I'm going to take some pictures of me surfing, right? Or I'm going to, these photo ops, or how can I change my hairstyle, right? Like, it's not truly good.
Right.
They're still trying to be accepted and loved by people, okay? But they're failing miserably. You know what the best part of Jeff Bezos is? His ex-wife.
I know, right?
Mackenzie Scott.
Yeah.
That woman is awesome. And she is giving money away. Mm-hmm. Okay? The money that she got from the divorce She is giving that away at like record paces. Okay? And she is beloved because of it.
Right.
So, hey, billionaires, if you want to be loved, start doing things for everybody. Period.
But nobody thinks they're the bad guy.
No, they all think Elon Musk thinks he's going to take everybody to Mars,
Right.
you know, and he's going to save society.
No, he's going to take rich people to Mars. He's not taking everyone.
But everyone's paying for it. They're not going to be the ones going, but they're the ones who are going to be paying for it.
Right.
So he needs everyone believing that they're going to be on that next.
Right. It's kind of, yeah, I get it. Trust me. It's like telling everybody that you're going to spend your own money to build a $250 million ballroom and then conveniently tell everybody that the DOJ owes you $230 million for an investigation on you. Convenient. What about some positives? Do we have any positives that we could bring out of this world?
I think there is technological innovation that is coming that's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah.
If used correctly. Honestly, I am so torn when it comes to like AI.
Yeah.
Because I see so many of the benefits, both what we're seeing now and the potential that it brings.
Right.
But yet, we're not using it for that. We're using it for the stupidest fucking things that we possibly can.
Because we're not teaching people the full potential it can be used for. So when you leave people to their own devices to figure it out, they're going to use it how it helps them conveniently with their life, and they don't realize its fullest potential. It's kind of like with people too, right? If I'm only looking for something to fit this job and I hire you for this job,
right,
but you have all this other potential that I'm unaware of, I'm never going to realize your fullest potential because it's not what I'm looking for and it's not what I understand or know. It's the same with the technology.
But I think they're looking for ways to monetize it. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you know, there's so many things that they've already been able to do, like in the medical field.
Yes.
You know, it's been incredible for things.
Right.
And there's just a lot of potential ways that we can use it to benefit everybody, to benefit society, to benefit. Yes. And yet, what is the most things that you see from AI? It's like stupid fucking meme videos.
Right.
Right? That's what we're focused on. Instead of using it to make things better,
right,
we're using it to cheat on our tests and, you know, to make stupid videos, you know, and just like the dumbest things possible.
Right.
And I don't know if that's, like, I don't know who's at fault there because we're the ones using it, right?
Yeah.
So is it the people that created it and that own it, or is it the people that consume it? Like, where is the problem in there?
Is it a problem? You're not going to get everyone who needs it or wants it for all of its potential. But you will get a lot of people who need or want it for its entertainment purposes, correct?
Okay. But at what point do we prioritize the important stuff over the entertainment? Like, I'm for the entertainment, but first of all, there's a lot of, you know, safety aspects there.
Right.
Right? You're able to create videos that you should not be able to create. Okay? It's being used for some nefarious purposes.
Right.
Right? That we should, but how do you stop that? How do you ban that and really focus on the good stuff?
Got to teach people.
Good fucking luck there. But I do believe that, you know, this AI revolution, it could go off the rails, don't get me wrong. But if we use this properly, you know, especially if you combine the AI with the robotics, okay, we will soon be able to have humanoid robots who can perform the functions that we do.
Right.
For a fraction of the price.
Right.
Okay? So at that point, you can replace a big chunk of your employees.
So what are you doing with those people then?
But that's the question. Are we just saying, fuck them? You're out in the cold?
Jeff Bezos is.
Or are we... Well, yeah. But if you listen to Elon Musk, he starts talking about universal basic income. Actually, not even universal basic income. He's saying that we will get to the point where money basically won't be worth anything. We won't need money, right? We'll all have everything that we need. The robots will be doing all of the work, and we are now free to do everything that we want.
Right.
I love that idea in theory,
Right.
right? But if Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and like of all of those guys, Mark Zuckerberg, if they're the ones that are determining it, that's not the way shit's going to go.
Right.
I don't know how we push down that road, but yes, they're initially, like you said, with Bezos, they're trying to replace their workforce and make that cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're creating more unemployment.
Right.
Where are we creating, opportunities for those people?
Right. Those misplaced.
Those misplaced people.
Right.
And if we're not providing the services that you need, right? And we're not guaranteeing, your living and your food and, the basic necessities in life, healthcare, right? Childcare. If we're not providing those, well, you're just creating more poor people.
Right.
That's all you're doing.
Yep.
Poor and homeless people.
Exactly.
And we need to create less of them, not more.
Exactly. We need to do better by each other.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some positive stuff.
You want to talk about the holidays?
Let's talk about when the holidays used to be positive. When it used to not be about consumerism. When it used to not be about, the things that it is today.
You know what I used to love? I used to look forward to this every year, Black Friday.
I know you did. Yeah.
Right? Like I used to with my kids,
Mm-hmm.
even with my sister,
Mm-hmm.
and we would, I remember taking the Best Buy and Circuit City flyers, right?
Mhm.
And like literally going through and circling, the things that we were going to go for, what were the best deals. And, we would show up at 3 a.m. and stand in line in the freezing cold. And then like we literally had a plan. Okay. You're going to go in and you're going to go left because, TVs are over here, right? I'm going to go right and I'm going to go to the computer section, right? And it was just this fun thing where, we would, wherever we went for Thanksgiving, that was part of it. The planning and the anticipation of Black Friday.
Right.
And I can't point to a date when, but, at some point it stopped becoming just a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
And it became more of just a marketing scheme.
I think a lot of that had to do with the introduction of the internet into society. I think that when you started to get a lot of Black Friday deals, not only online, but starting them a week ahead of time, it really took away from what you considered that nostalgia, that magic of what Black Friday was, right?
Oh, absolutely. Because I remember, it used to be that the flyers didn't drop until you got them in the Thanksgiving paper.
Yeah.
So you didn't know what was going to be.
Right.
Right. And then they started releasing them earlier and
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
And now they're pushing them out there trying to get people.
You basically start seeing Black Friday sales or leading up to it almost a month or two ahead of time now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane. I say it all the time. I love the holidays, but it drives me absolutely batshit crazy when I walk into a store and it isn't even Halloween and I'm looking at Christmas stuff already. Drives me nuts.
Tell me more about that. Because I know if it were up to you, we would be celebrating Halloween starting in July. You would start putting Halloween decorations up.
That's not true.
Oh, no?
That's not true. So I do. So when it comes September, I start to do little things for fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll bring in October. I'll bring in all the Halloween stuff and then bring it back down to the fall stuff by November, going into Christmas by the end of November, which I am very, very aware that the house rule is not until after Thanksgiving because it's been drilled into my head.
That's because we would get to January and we would start it right over again.
That's not true. That's not true. I like the
You
seasons.
love the holidays. I know you do.
And I like. I mean, I'm that crazy person where I have stuff that I do for the seasons throughout the house.
Yeah.
I love all of it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Christmas stuff in September and October.
I'm with you because I think it takes away from, the excitement of it, right?
Yeah.
Christmas should be December,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you have 2 and 3 months worth of Christmas,
Yeah.
like that's a quarter of the entire year.
And you become numb to
You
it.
become right. It's no longer fun.
Right.
It's it just becomes a whole season,
Right.
and that's just there's nothing great about that.
Especially when you know that the reason that it is that way is because of consumerism.
Yeah.
And only
Yeah.
consumerism. This has nothing to do with nostalgia. This has
No.
nothing to do with, the thought of doing for others, the kindness, the everything that the holidays are supposed to be, right?
Right.
Thanksgiving is supposed to be about giving thanks for everything that we have because the Pilgrims stole it from the Indians. And they're like, let's thank God that we were able to steal all this shit and kill them. And then we have Christmas and Jesus was like born. And we're like, this is now a holiday. And then we're like, Santa Claus came. And then Jesus and Santa Claus had a fight. We don't know who won yet, but it seems like maybe Santa Claus, especially with consumerism.
I'm sorry. You mean that metaphorically, right?
do.
Like Jesus and Santa
I
didn't...
do. I was being
Okay.
facetiously,
Okay, because that's not what I pictured in my head. I figured like, Jesus and Santa Claus.
South Park style.
South Park style, just in a duel. It's all about the consumerism and trying to get, earlier and earlier, get in that Christmas spirit. And you're forcing it at that point.
The things that I love the most about the holidays is family, nostalgia. I have a candle right now that I got from Kohl's the other day. It's called Harvest Hayride, if anybody's interested. And Izzy phrased it perfectly. She's like, it smells like a memory. And it does. Now, obviously, if you understand that your sense of smell is directly tied to your memories. So, of course, that brings up things, right? But those are the things that I enjoy. When you smell something and you're like, oh my God, this reminds me of really good times, right? Or the fact of making a really good meal for our family, watching the kids open gifts on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Like, it's those things.
Yeah.
Taking them into New York City and just
Yeah.
the awe and the magic of the city for,
Yeah.
the holidays. Those are the things. It is about the moments that we create. It is about the experiences with each other. Those are the things that matter.
Yeah, we used to Thanksgivings. We would spend over my Uncle Frank and Aunt Debbie's house every year, and that was the best of my childhood.
Yeah.
Even into my adulthood.
Right.
We would go over there every year. Now they've since passed.
Yep.
But that was my favorite thing every year was to go over there. And you look forward to that. It was about the family. It was about the food. Just the fun of being there.
Right. When I think about the way that we have this talk about going back to when things were better, and that, mind you, we all have this flaw about us where whenever we remember things nostalgically, it's better than what it actually was. Right. But I think it's things like this that we're actually talking about. It's not the racism, right? It's not the who can vote, who has rights. It's not the bullshit that is actually going on that we're all fighting for right now. It's the family, it's the memories, it's the goodness, it's the kindness, right?
Yeah. But, you are ignoring, for a lot of people, the holidays is not a magical time. It's not a positive thing.
It's true.
It's the stress and remembrance of not having enough money for Christmas presents, right? Not being able to cook, something up for Thanksgiving.
Which why is it 2025 and we have the ability of so many rich people in this entire world to band together and eliminate things like poverty? So why is it that we still have people struggling?
Money,
honey.
That's it. That's the the cause of and the solution to
Is it money or is
most
it
of the world's problems.
is it a small group of people who continue to gatekeep everything? And
It's
they
a
don't
small,
want
it's a
everyone else having anything that they have.
it's a small percentage of people that own the majority of the wealth in the world.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah. And then they keep telling everybody that it's everybody else that's causing all the problems.
Yeah. Yeah. And we do. We argue with each other and we fight amongst each other
Yep.
while they just continue to consume more and more.
Right. Make life harder and harder for the rest of us.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody. I hope you enjoyed this first episode. We're going to continue to roll on and try some new things with it. But if you had a good time here, if you enjoyed the conversation, we look forward to seeing you again. So thank you and have a good one.
Bye, everybody.